It's good to see you again.
For joining us on today's edition of Unity Trend on Unity 93.3 FM. From the hills of ZINARIYA in Jos North Plateau State, Nigeria, we are reaching you live. Today is Monday and is the third day in the month of June, the year 2024. This happens to be the first edition for this week, and it also happens to be the first edition for the month of June, the year 2024. You see, God has been faithful, and He has done this all alone. No one was there to help God make sure that you get to see this wonderful day, and no one will be able to help Him because God has never grown weary or tired or deterred in His effort and in His divine plan to make sure that you become what He has designed it to be. Okay, so give it to God for being faithful. Glory be to God and praise be unto God Almighty. All right, our dear listener and viewer, my name is Eji Adamu. You can call me Kobe if you like, and I'll be just fine. This is Unity Train once again, and it comes your way every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, and we start at 8 and never stop until it is 9:30 a.m. And we have 3 segments to it all. The first segment is review. We get to look at issues as we have them trending on our national dailies and even locally, even issues that haven't been on any newspaper page. We can also bring it up at the review segment. And on the second segment is transit. We get to bring up a topic and we discuss at length. And after that too, the last segment is where we let our viewer and listener to join the conversation. But that you will not be able to do it as effective, as lovely as should be if you don't get to follow us from the first segment of the program. Thank you so much once again. And so without you, we will not be here. And so I would love to introduce, I have a very surprising package to you because I have someone whom you've missed in the studio. He's right now in the studio, and I'll let him say a very big good morning to our listener and viewer. I have Barrister Paul Zaruma. He's seated in the studio, and he's doing just well. He will say good morning. Barrister, let me even begin. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kulbi.
Thank you.
Good morning, Prof. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I've missed the studio for a while. I've been traveling out of the state. The larger part of last week, I've been away. I'm back and I'm doing well. I wish our listeners and viewers good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are receiving us from. And I do hope you will have a blissful day as usual.
All right, that's lovely. That's the voice of the man you've missed so much in the studio. And thank God today he's in the studio with us. And it tells you that it's going to be nothing less than a fantastic ride. I therefore want to say the weekend was full of several activities, especially marking 1 year in office of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, and his wonderful team. The land is green and the time is now okay. There was dinner at the government house on Thursday, and on Friday there was this special prayer for the state at the Jos Central Mosque, and there we were, okay. And of course on Saturday there was that walk and also golf, and on Sunday, which was yesterday, there was this interdenominational Thanksgiving service, which was at the Rampound Township Stadium, and it was also lovely. And so we give it to God for helping us to have gone through all of these activities. They are remarkable, and I'm sure Plateau as a state has received prayers from all over. Thank you so much. I want to particularly say thank you to Commissioner for Communication, Information and Communication, the Honorable Ibrahim Shams, for counting it worthy for us to be well informed on this, and his wonderful team who put that event all together. It was a success, and I pray God will see us through with more showers of more successes as we plan to have it on the plateau. Thank you. Again, in the studio is Professor Provana H. Bamaye, and he has always been in the studio he has not grown weary or tired. He is still out to ensure that this is one service that I said nobody pays him, but he's here to do it. I love that. I'm so encouraged. As a professor, he always squeezes out of his busy schedule to be in the studio. This is because he finds it worthy to say something and listen to our viewer and listener when they get a call. A professor, permit me to say a very big good morning to you for coming to the studio.
Good morning, Colby, and good morning, Barrister. Viewers, listeners, a beautiful good morning. If you're in other parts of the world where it's not morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're glad that you're with us on 93.3 FM radio and Unity TV via satellite. Some of you are watching us on Facebook and YouTube on your different devices. We're happy that you're part of this fantastic broadcast. Unity Train, a fantastic ride, taking us to a fantastic destination. And please invite your neighbors, your friends, well-wishers. Go on social media and tell somebody that we're on air. Let them be part of this very important conversation on national issues and international issues. But let me quickly remind you that time waits for no man. 2024 is moving very fast. It will soon end. This is June already. It was like yesterday we said, Happy New Year. But look at it. This is June. Today is June 3rd. Before you know it, it's June 4th. Before you know it, we're in July. August, September, October, November, and December, the year has ended. So, how far? So far, have you gone with your dreams, your goals, your objectives for 2024? Are you 60% complete? Have you achieved 70%, 80%? Some people have even already achieved 100%. But some are 10%. Some maybe are struggling to even start. It is not too late. Your goals, visions, dreams, objectives must be smart. That means they must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. While you pursue those goals, you will meet hindrances, obstacles, challenges on the way. Do you know that since people started climbing Mount Everest over 70 years ago, more than 300 people have died in the attempt to climb to the peak, the summit of Mount Everest. In fact, more than 200 dead bodies have not been recovered from Mount Everest. But every year people attempt to climb it. This year alone, 4 people have already died in an attempt to climb to the summit of Mount Everest. But do you know that others have achieved? Dozens have reached the summit of Everest. They refuse to give up in spite of the fact that obviously it is a risk. They're climbing at the risk of their lives. But they have refused to give up because of the obstacles, the hindrances. So you face the resistance on the way. But don't stop. Your persistence will break every resistance. Therefore, perspire to acquire what you require in life. In case you don't seem to be acquiring, don't retire. Don't give up. Refire. Quitters don't win. Winners don't quit. Remember, things might be tough in Nigeria, but tough times never last. It is tough people that do. So go out there, continue to pursue your dreams, your visions, your objectives. And while you're at it, remember to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Oh, that's lovely, and that's the voice of Professor Pavano H. Bamayi on your radio and TV this morning. And so the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos invites you, my listener and viewer, to a faculty seminar titled Is Collaborations Between the University and Industry in Africa Possible? Well, there's a question, right? And so you may want to hear this. And if you want to, then Dr. Josiah Mandiaka, a former chairman of Kenya Veterinary Associations and current president, CVA, and managing director of VetServe, is the one to take care of that segment and seminar. Okay, and the date is on Thursday, the 6th day in the month of June, the year 2024. Time is 1 to 2 p.m. and it's going to happen at Boardroom Veterinary Anatomy FVM Naraguta campus. I look forward to having you there. This is my invitation, right? And now it's your invitations, and I look forward to having you there. All right, there's this cancer, Prof. Let's talk quickly about it before we look at other issues. And there's these issues in town that people are saying is an attempt, to bring down the population of this country. Is it cervical cancer? It's becoming a very big issue of saying parents refusing their children between the ages of 9 and 14, to also be vaccinated or whatever you call it. So how true is this? Not what people are insinuating or even saying.
Could be, they say, experience is the best teacher. When I was in East Africa, my daughters were vaccinated against cervical cancer. The vaccine is actually not targeting the cancer, it's targeting the virus that causes the cancer. That's the HPV, human papillomavirus,
yes,
that causes cervical cancer. More than 95% of cervical cancer cases are caused by HPV virus, the human papillomavirus. So the vaccine targets the virus, because I've heard some people say that there is vaccine against cancer. No, the vaccine is not against the cancer. It is against the virus that leads to that cancer. That is why you see young people who have been vaccinated, those who are not yet sexually active, 9 to 14 years old, even though in some of our society, girls are sexually active already, maybe at the age of 8. But we hope that the majority are not yet sexually active between the ages of 9 to 14, so they are vaccinated against this HPV virus. And once that is done, they will not come down with cervical cancer. This vaccine has been successful in Uganda, where I stayed. It has been successful in Kenya. My colleague who is coming from Kenya for the seminar that he just announced, he is coming physically here to Jos. In fact, tomorrow he is arriving in Abuja. And so he will be on ground on Thursday. Come and ask him about his own experience. His daughters vaccinated against HPV, human papilloma virus, in Kenya and Uganda, Tanzania, all over East Africa.
These are African
This
countries.
vaccination has taken place for many years.
All right.
It is only coming to Nigeria because I don't know why Nigeria always, when it comes to health, comes first from the rear, from the back. Some of these countries have been vaccinating against, malaria, and some other infections, but Nigeria, we are always the last, unfortunately. So this vaccine is safe. A HPV vaccine is safe. It is not targeting reducing our population or stopping our women from taking in. Many of those women in East Africa who took the vaccine when they were between the ages of 9 and 14 have children. Some of them have 6, 7, 8, 10 children. The woman with the highest number of children in the world is a Ugandan woman with 38 children. Did the HPV vaccine stop her from having children? So I think it's just unnecessary rumors. People don't understand how this works. They should invite health experts to discuss and talk about this instead of rumor mongering, here and there. I know that something happened in Kano years ago, which was unfortunate. But we should not use this to attack a vaccine that is potent, that is efficacious, that has been proven. If they want to stop our women from getting pregnant, isn't it a vaccine that they're going to use? And would they be targeting those between the ages of 9 and 14? Don't we take other drugs from Pfizer and the rest of them around the world? Wouldn't have even incorporated something to stop our women from being pregnant, even in the Panadols we take and the antibiotics and the rest? Why should they bother themselves about putting it in a vaccine that they know that not everybody even takes a vaccine? If you want to stop population, you should even incorporate it in antibiotic that almost everybody takes, or analgesics like Panadol, paracetamol, and the rest that everybody takes. It is even easier to put it, in those tablets than to incorporate it inside the vaccine. So that vaccine is fantastic, and I want to encourage our parents. Please release your daughters between the ages of 9 to 14. Let them take that HPV vaccine. Otherwise, tomorrow, we'll be crying. Why? Because cervical cancer causes the death of at least 8,000 women in Nigeria every year, at the least. In fact, the figure is much higher than that. So we should do something to stop this unnecessary, untimely death of our women due to cervical cancer.
All right, lovely. Now, our issues here are there. Minimum wage. National Assembly moves to avert strike to mediate between Nigerian government and labor. Identities of soldiers killed by IPOB revealed. And here you have it again. The NLC-TUC insists on indefinite strike despite meeting with National Assembly. Another one say why multinationals are exiting Nigeria, and this is credited to Edom. Asa Ogun community where women traveled to neighboring Benin Republic for potable water. And we're talking about Nigeria, potable water. This is one thing. Even on the plateau, we still make calls to get to, to overcome such. More abducted Kogi Varsity students rescued in Kwara Forest. This is a wonderful one, and I pray that more will be rescued if we still have more in captivity. All right, Barrister, I would have loved to begin with, well, just anywhere, as Prof always encouraged. Should there be water in this studio? Where do you start? Well, you just start from anywhere. Yeah. But I would have loved anyway that we start with the IPOB thing, so we get to look at how unfortunate this is coming over us again as a nation.
It is quite unfortunate that we are still having the resurgence of this issue relating to IPOB, threatening the security and territorial integrity of Nigeria. And if government did not do something very drastic about this issue of IPOB, popularly known as IPOB, I think we are going to nosedive into mess, because IPOB as an organization is issuing a direct and unambiguous threat to our national territorial integrity, and then to the extent that they are threatening law-abiding citizens. They have gotten so emboldened to the extent that they are even confronting our military. This is not the first time that IPOB are attacking the military and killing them. It is really very, very unfortunate. We condole and sympathize with the family of those military personnel that lost their lives in the course of serving this nation.
Yes.
We also sympathize and extend our condolence to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as well as the Defense Minister, over this sad event. Be that as it may, the government approach is also very important. If the government continue to adopt a blanket approach, then I challenge you that they are further emboldening IPOB. There should be an intelligence. You cannot just come to a community, an entire community, and begin to wipe people simply because IPOB killed somebody in that community. Just like what happened in Delta State some time ago. You don't just do that. By the time you are doing that, you as a government, you are also becoming part of the problem. So you have to use intelligence. You have to separate between the chaff and the wheat. You don't just come and throw the baby with the bathwater. That's not a very good thing, and it's quite unfortunate that our security has been. That's also unprofessional. It's quite unfortunate that our security have been adopting that formula. That formula is no longer tenable. It's not in the 21st century. You don't approach security issues that way. You don't wipe a whole community because one or two people, or at least minority, has caused a problem. There should be intelligence, because if you approach it in a blanket format, like it has been the case in the past, what you are doing is that you are further emboldening the IPOB. How? You may create so many orphans. You may create so many wounded people. When I mean wounded people, I mean wounded emotionally, wounded psychologically, and so on and so forth. And by the time you create such kind of environment, before you know it, you are creating a brooding ground for IPOB to conscript young people and then get emboldened. And they may also get sympathy from the locals. So you should be able to filter out who is an IPOB and who are those who are doing it. And then again, there is an accusation against the government that of double Nigerians from different platforms are accusing the government of double jeopardy. That if similar thing happen in another part of the country, the government doesn't go for a blanket approach. But if it happens in another part of the country, they go for a blanket approach. That is also unhealthy. Government should work towards making sure that accusation is being falsified. But they should not also adopt an approach that will give credence to that accusation. So these are some of the areas that we want to encourage our government. We also want to celebrate this Kogi State University that have been rescued, Kogi State University student that has been rescued. This is a wonderful development. We salute the military and the police and the joint task force that were involved in that operation. The reports also reveal that local vigilantes are involved. This is a wonderful package. It's a gift for, yesterday was World Missing Persons Day, International Missing Persons Day. So, for them to have gotten the freedom for these people, yes. I think it's a wonderful development. When Red Cross was giving the statistic of those who are still missing in this country, it's really amazing. It's shocking, and it's not something. They said only in They said only in northeast Nigeria alone, over 2,400 people are missing. Only in northeastern part of Nigeria.
25,000.
25. Thank you, Prof, for that correction. Northeast, 25,000 people missing just northeastern Nigeria. So you can just imagine about over 100 people are missing in Abuja, the capital territory, where we have the defense headquarters, we have the Louis Eded House and the headquarters of the DSS, the NIA headquarters is there, and only in Abuja there is over 100 missing persons, which is not good in this country. Something has to be done in terms of intelligence gathering. What is our intelligence community doing? This is really a challenge to them, that we cannot be in our country and then people will just be missing like that. We are not in rapture yet, except if we're in rapture. But the security have to unravel what is causing these people to miss. For the Northeast, we understand the security issue that has been there. So, with respect, back to the point we are discussing, with respect to the issue of IPOB, government should adopt intelligence. We encourage government to fish these people out, get them. But as long as radicals and non-state actors commit violence, and then innocent people bear the brunt, that approach is counterproductive. It has proven ineffective over time in Nigeria. So we are challenging government to adopt a different approach, so that the person the soul that sinneth shall die. Not that when somebody is sinning, then an innocent person is dying. That is a terrible one. You go to a whole village, women, children, and begin to wipe them. That is a terrible and a draconian approach to security. There should be, you have to go there, apply intelligence, and then make sure that the actual culprit are the people that are dealt with appropriately.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Paul Zaruma, for taking us on such a wonderful and fantastic ride. Okay, I have a sister who lost her child, one of her daughter, got missing since the last 30 years. And if you see her today, she still makes reference to that daughter. Sometimes, and she feels it would have been better she finds the corpse and then gets to bury her daughter, and that would have been better to her. That her daughter is missing, and it's a whole nightmare all over 30 years. And it's been nightmare. She dreams every time and sees her daughter come in, know she's home and all that. And so you can imagine. So it tells you that she's not the only one who is going through such an unbearable nightmare all through her lifetime. Imagine. And so please, thank you, our viewer and listener. Before you get to hear some more from my guest in the studio, it's time for a short commercial break. And when we come back, the conversation continues. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your
Unity? Unity TV. I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking.
And thank you so much for staying tuned with us on this wonderful station, the Unity 93.3 FM, Unity TV. Asia, the monuments, my name could be. If you like, and I'll be just fine. There is no way I'll be in the studio and to do this all alone. In fact, the very man who gives me courage to always wake up and look forward to being in the studio for this wonderful program is, first of all, you and the very guest whom have volunteered to always come to the studio, Barrister Paul Zaruma and Professor P.H. Mayi. And this is the second segment to this wonderful program this morning. I'll just let the professor to take us on a ride, even right now. Let's continue to look at issues as we have them. By the way, the time is 8:30 a.m. And don't forget, earlier on, we have invited you to also invite others to join us on our Facebook page, which is at Unity Radio FM/TV Jaws. For Facebook again, at Unity Radio FM/TV Jaws. Connect with us. Drop your comments. I'll get to read them later on, God's willing. So, Prof, over to you.
Let me continue from where Barrister Zaruma stopped about the hip-hop attacks. Let's pay respect to the 5 soldiers that have been confirmed to have lost their lives in that hip-hop attack in Abia State, where those terrorists made away with at least 5 AK-47 rifles and bombed at least 2 Hilux vans used by the military for patrol, in addition to injuring civilians. The 5 soldiers are Sergeant Charles Ugochukwu, Sergeant Charles Ugochukwu, Sergeant Bala Abraham, Sergeant Bala Abraham, Corporal Gideon Egwe, Corporal Gideon Egwe, Corporal Ikwema Ikechukwu, Corporal Ikwema Ikechukwu, and Corporal Augustine Emmanuel. Corporal Augustine Emmanuel. These 5 soldiers were brutally killed by the hip-hop terrorists. Now we know that these hip-hop terrorists are good at kidnapping and killing and commanding people to sit at home. Even during exams, some of the people in the Southeast have missed WAEC-NECO exams because of these bloodthirsty terrorists. Unfortunately, we've allowed terrorism to spread all over the country. As we're talking today, talking about missing persons, yesterday missing persons today, we still have many people in captivity that we seem to have even forgotten about. For example, nobody seems to be talking about the 87 missing people from Kajuru, local government area of Kaduna State. Today is already 2 months and 17 days since they were kidnapped, and they're still in captivity. 2 months and 17 days after, 87 people from Kajuru are still in captivity. And we seem to forget Leah Sharibu. Leah Sharibu has been missing for 7 years, 3 months and 14 days 7 years, 3 months, and 14 days, this Dapchi girl is still in captivity. And the president is not talking about it. Security forces seem to have forgotten. But we have not forgotten. Nigeria has not forgotten Yulia Sharibu. We will continue to talk about this until the day Leah Sharibu is freed. What about the Chibok girls? At least 90 Chibok girls are still in captivity for 10 years, 1 month, and 19 days. 10 years, 1 month, and 19 days. The Chibok girls are still in captivity. In fact, let's not forget that 112 girls who were kidnapped from the IDP camp in Gamborungala. 112 girls kidnapped at the IDP camp in Gamborungala when they went to gather some wood, firewood to cook, are still in captivity. And today is 3 months, 6 days. 3 months exactly, 6 days that these 112 girls are still in captivity. And we have many others all over the country. Some we don't even hear about them. Nobody even knows about them. Nobody is even talking about them. And this is a call to the federal government, the state governments, local governments, our political leaders, security forces, that we need to up our game when it comes to security. Because Section 14 of our Constitution says that the primary responsibility of government shall be the security and welfare of the people of Nigeria. The security and welfare of the people of Nigeria. Section 16 also adds another mandate to the government, that the government shall be responsible for taking decisions and policies, especially when it comes to the economy, to ensure the happiness of Nigerians.
Of Nigerians, of course.
So, welfare, security, happiness of Nigerians is the responsibility of the government. If you are not ready to do this, please resign. You don't have to be the president. You don't have to be the governor. You don't have to be a senator or a representative. You don't have to be a local government chairman or chairperson. Please resign if you cannot guarantee security, welfare, happiness of Nigerians. You cannot do it. Just resign. Leave the job. Stop being occupying space for nothing. Stop sitting down there doing nothing for the good of Nigerians. Nigerians are dying. Nigerians have been kidnapped. Nigerians are missing. And then we have a government in this country. How can you prove to anybody that there is a government existing in Nigeria when people can appear from anywhere, kidnap any number of people they want, and just go scot-free? How do you kidnap 300 people? 300 people is a huge number, and they will kidnap them and go, and nothing happens. How do you kidnap 200, 100 people? Even one person, you kidnap one person. That is already a big matter, because one person missing throws a whole family into pandemonium and chaos and weeping and crying. But we're talking about hundreds and thousands of Nigerians still missing, still in captivity, and that have been killed. Their dead bodies were never recovered for years. What are we talking about? That we have a government? Please, political leaders, can you prove to us in Nigeria that we have a government? Please prove that there is a government existing in this country. And this is rather unfortunate. And that leads us to the NLC-TUC strike. As of this moment, I can authoritatively confirm that the strike has commenced, and that we already have major compliance, including even medical and health workers are complying.
How unfortunate this is.
Very, very unfortunate. As of last night, even at midnight, the Senate President, Akpabio, Godswill Akpabio, the House of Representatives Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, along with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and some ministers were meeting with NLC, led by Comrade Joe Ajero, and TUC, led by Comrade Festus Osifo. They were all in attendance at the meeting. And it was a last-minute attempt to stop today's strike from going ahead, but it was deadlocked. It failed woefully.
Again.
And I mean, the government had several months to stop this strike. Why at the 11th hour? Why didn't the Senate President call the NLC 1 month ago? Why didn't the House of Reps Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, call NLC and TUC 1 month ago? I heard the Attorney General Fagbemi saying the strike is illegal, they did not give 15 days notice and all that. I just laugh. And I feel like laughing in Latin. They warned you 1 month ago. They kept singing the song that by 31st May, we're going on strike 31st May. 1 month ago could be. We've been discussing this even since April. Since April, they have been talking about this. You're talking about 15 days notice. What notice do you want again?
Prof.
I mean, what kind of notice?
Is it that there is no laughter in Nigeria that you feel you want to go Latin?
It looks as if laughing in Birom will not help the situation. Or HAUSA people. I need to laugh in Latin, you know.
Please go on. Right.
You know, this is rather unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
That NLC, TUC told the government, in fact, several months ago, that look, if you don't do something, we're going on strike. And they kept reminding the government since the beginning of May. May 1st, May Day. Look at the speech of Comrade Joe Ajero and Festu Osifo. They said by 31st May, if they don't implement a new minimum wage for Nigerian workers, labor will go on strike.
Yes, there has been such
Is that not an enough notice?
There has been that.
And that notice has been circulated in writing all over the country. They have said it on radio, on TV, on the streets, everywhere. And Fagbemi is saying that there was no notice. So it's only yesterday you knew that there was no notice. It is only yesterday you are discovering that labor is going on strike and they have not given notice, so it's illegal. It's only yesterday you are discovering it. You just woke up over the weekend and then you discover there is an illegal thing. Why didn't you tell them since May 1st that it is illegal for you to go on any strike after 31st May?
I think
no,
so.
Because this is rather unfortunate. You know, I feel really angry at the way the federal government handled this matter that could have easily been handled. And for the peanuts they have been attempting to give, like those women who go to the market to price things and say, I will add 100 naira, no, I will remove 50 naira and all this. I mean, if we're talking about minimum wage, be realistic. When His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president, minimum wage was 30,000 naira. It has not changed up to today. The value of that 30,000 naira today, in 1 year's time, is less than 10,000 naira. So that 30,000 naira translates in its value to about 100,000 naira. That is where the federal government negotiation should begin from. How much can you add to 100,000 naira? Because the equivalent of 30,000 naira in May 2023 now is about 100,000 naira. Now, how much will you add? Not that you're given 60,000. I mean, you're going below even the 30,000 that you made in 2023, considering inflation. We're talking about food inflation that is at 40.6%, general inflation 33.66%, and you're talking about 60,000 naira. You are even reducing the minimum wage from where you met it as far as its value is concerned. The federal government should be starting from, let's negotiate. Now, 100,000 naira is the equivalent of 30,000 naira in May 2023 when this government came into power. Now, how much are we going to add to the 100,000 naira considering inflation? Inflation has increased 33%, 40%. Can we now, we increased the petrol subsidy was removed and petrol has increased by about 300%. Can we add 300% to the salary? Let's begin from 300,000. That's what the federal government should be talking about. Not saying 60,000, not threatening that, well, if we do what labor is asking, then people will lose their jobs. Why would they lose their jobs? When the members of the House of Reps and the senators, over 500 people, budgeted for themselves 160 million at least to buy cars. Did we lose our jobs in Nigeria? Why is it that when it comes to the welfare workers, you begin to threaten labor? Why were you not talking when these selfish politicians, self-centered politicians, greedy politicians bought cars, SUVs for 160 million? You did not talk. You did not stop approving it. You did not say it cannot work. You speedily released released the money, and those vehicles were purchased. But now workers are saying increase minimum wage. Now it is a problem. The country will have problem if that is implemented. But when it comes to your own selfish interests, our political leaders, why are you so selfish? Why are you so self-centered? Why is it that you cannot even think about the masses? When it comes to your own money for you to build houses, money for you to buy cars, money for you to go on holiday, money for you to enjoy, you will approve it speedily. Why is it that when it came for you to approve the old national anthem as new, within 24 hours you have finished everything? But when it comes to the welfare, something that will benefit workers in Nigeria, it has dragged on for months and months and months upon months. And you are even threatening labor because of it. You don't want the welfare of Nigerian workers? Why is it that when it comes to getting something that will help the over 200 million Nigerians, it will take you several weeks and months to implement? But when it comes to something that has to do with National Assembly executive approval, speedily it is approved. It is high time. Political leaders, please turn a new leaf. That selfishness, that self-centeredness, that greediness is what has made Nigeria underdeveloped. It is high time you begin to consider the needs of the masses. It is high time you begin to think of the welfare of the generality of Nigerians. It is high time you show patriotism as political leaders by putting Nigeria first and not your pockets. If you're patriotic, you should reduce your own salaries to that 60,000 minimum wage that you want to give Nigerian workers.
You know, there was this high public outcry against the idea to buy such an expensive vehicles for members. But then, all alone, there was no one was able to stop that. And so, but for this, the government seemed not to be there for it, but having other reasons.
Another interesting twist to the threat by the Attorney General is that they have obtained an order from the National Industrial Court to prevent the strike. It's quite unfortunate that our courts are giving interdiction orders with respect to issues like this. It is very embarrassing, it is undemocratic, and it is preposterous. How can you give an order that workers should not express their grievances? How can we give an order? You know, this is very unfortunate. You know, court will just come and begin to dish out orders. In a democracy, court is an essential part of judicial democracy, and the judiciary is known to be the last hope of the common man. But it appears on the strike, the court is not with the common man. It's quite unfortunate. How can a national industrial court give an order that labor should not go on strike? It is their constitutional right to self-expression. They can express themselves when things are not going right in the country. Just like Prof rightly pointed out, if you cannot rule, you excuse us. That is what is obtainable in advanced democracies. If you cannot do, you resign. But you insist that you will go, you by fire, by force, you find yourself there and you are not performing well. Your family members are enjoying themselves. They are applying presidential jets. They are living a very, look at the entourage that they travel with outside the country. They go with a very large entourage unnecessarily that they will not add value to that, to such programs. You know, there was one of the journeys, they travel with over almost 97 people in the entourage. For what? And just look at the BTA, how much is going there. So, but whenever something comes for the common man, you will see that is a point where you will see them, they will begin to stammer, they will begin to bring all sorts of gimmicks. But frankly, our court need to really wake up. It is for the good of even the judges themselves. It is for the good of the staff of the court themselves. So how can a court give an order that they should not go on strike? So the Attorney General should wake up. We have found ourselves in an unfortunate situation whereby people go to court in the night and obtain orders, all sorts of orders. That's why you can see orders flying left, right, and center. I think the court should bring back the dignity of democracy so that we will not go back to what we are having today in Nigeria. This is very embarrassing. This is quite unfortunate. we are supporting labor for the interests of Nigeria. When they were suspending minimum wage, when the president was suspending subsidy, the president would have looked at the implication of that. Yes, so you have to look at the overall implication. But just at your at the speech, when he was accepting during his inaugural speech, he just declared that the era of subsidy is gone, without looking at the pros and cons, without looking at the implication, without looking at what the ripple effects. And now today, just like Prof rightly pointed out, we have a situation whereby what 30,000 can do before, even 100,000 cannot do.
No.
In life, people are really in difficulty. You know, people are in a situation whereby some people will say, okay, you are coming to work on Monday, you will come Tuesday, then you will not come on Wednesday. Some people will take over the job for you. Some people will come on Wednesday and Thursday. Then some people will come on Friday. That is what workers are doing. So you end up doing the work of like what 5 people will do. At the end of the day, 2 or 1 person will do the work.
Yeah.
And even already the system is understaffed. Yes, to cut down costs. And then someone was telling me last time that I traveled to Abuja that in their office, he will come with extra clothes to the office, with extra shoes and extra everything, and then he will come with his bathroom items, and then he will stay in the office. He will only return home on Friday. Yes, he goes home on Friday. Yes, this is happening in Nigeria, in the heart of Nigeria, at the Federal Capital Territory, because he calculated that if he continue coming to work every day, then at the end of the day, he will not have anything to feed his family. So what about those offices that doesn't have those toilet facilities? How can you sleep in such offices? There are offices that you cannot sleep. Most offices in Abuja are standard offices. They have standard yes. So that's why they are doing what they are doing. But what of where you don't have those facilities in your office? How can you sleep in the office? So you can see the situation that people in Nigeria have found themselves, which is quite unfortunate. And you cannot be effective. You stay in the office, you work throughout the day, you sleep in the office. How can you be effective in terms of job delivery? You cannot. So the government have to be realistic. No, the Attorney General should not threaten anybody with any court order. After all, they have gone on the strike, and what is the efficacy of the court order? And the court should not allow themselves to be dragged into to be politicized and dragged into the mess of politicians.
All right, away from that, let's just look at another issue that our listener and viewer will be very happy to hear your views on it. This has to do also with local government autonomy. Recently, I think on Friday or so, myself and Prof, we were here and we received calls, and people were so happy to hear that we emphasize and re-emphasize and call attention to federal government and also state governors to also see the need to have full autonomy of the local governments. And then probably from there, in a few more minutes, we talk about the swearing in of the left, the leftover lawmakers in Plateau State. These are the 2 issues I will just look at very briefly. Actually,
if you look at the relevant provisions of the law, the local government ordinarily have some element of autonomy. It was during the tenure elongation of Olusegun Obasanjo that Obasanjo entered into an unholy alliance with the governors, and then he subjected the local government into the whims and caprices of the governors. So instead of the monies to go to the local government directly, they have what they call a joint account where they sent these monies to. And that was an arrangement that Olusegun Obasanjo entered with the governors. And since then, the governors have enjoyed that kind of arrangement, and they are not willing to let the local government go. And if today our local government should have autonomy, I am telling you, we will have massive development in Nigeria.
So this is like some sort of financial freedom.
Yes, it is financial freedom. This money shouldn't go into any state joint account. this money should go directly to the individual local government account, and then the individual local government should have the monopoly of utilizing the money. Right. The governor shouldn't interfere. The local government are also elected local government. That is why we have said it here severally, that even this tendency of governors suspending elected local government chairman is terrible. Such powers of the governor should be reduced. There should be relevant amendment of the constitution that the governor cannot suspend an elected local government chairman, because the local government chairman derive their legitimacy from the ballot box, just like the governor also derive his legitimacy from the ballot box. Right. So the powers of the governor should be checked if we really want to have a constitutional democracy. The last time I said that our constitution was teleguided by the military, and that is why you can see some of these bottlenecks. And then by the time we really have a democratic and a constitutional constitution, then we will have a country where the governors will have their own power. I'm telling you, you will see the number of people that will contest governorship election will decline. And you will see development going down to the grassroots.
All right.
Why is it that the governors are not always comfortable whenever they hear the issue of autonomy of local government? They should allow the local government to utilize their resources. Today, a local government cannot do 5 kilometers road. Hardly there is any local government, except maybe in places like Lagos or in Niger Delta. But once local government have autonomy, local government can do some of these things that state government are doing. Most of the things that state government are bragging with is they are doing it with local government resources. Most of this humongous life, most of this bogus life they are living is from the local government resources. So local government should be given autonomy. On this one, the president is doing well. We support the president. This is a wonderful decision, step by the president. As soon as that bill comes to the table, let them quickly implement it. And then they have also gone to the court. Just like we are rightly pointing out, the way they are trying to ridicule our courts. And once you have demystified the court, then I'm telling you, then our democracy is in question. Because the court is an essential and a critical element of democracy. Yes, so once, now they have run to the court trying to stop the autonomy. Let's see the drama that will come out of it. Yes, they have gone to the court. Everybody now, particularly the politicians, they are rushing to the court. And when they are going to the court, they do what we call forum shopping. You look at the face of the judge that you think he will favor you, or you have a link with him, or he is your wife, or he have a soft spot for your political party, and that's what they do.
Okay, barrister, again, you look at it now on this local government autonomy. Now you see it's the federal government that is championing this now, dragging the state governors to the court. And don't you think at the end, if it's materialized and then the local government are given autonomy, don't you think they will submit directly to the federal government with the favor? And then there is an ideological factor to it. Yes. And also that ideological factor is born out of experience. The president was a victim of when President Olusegun Obasanjo withheld the local government resources of Lagos State. Yes. So the president knew the efficacy and the importance of local government. So that is why he is trying to give local government their autonomy. And then the state government now are moving all over the place, from one court to the other, and moving from one house of assembly to the other. All right, trying to frustrate that move. Okay. And I think we are encouraging the president. This is the right step towards the right direction. Local government should be given their autonomy, and I am telling you, they are the closest people to the masses. You can walk to a councillor's house, but you cannot walk to how many senate can you access? Some of them will stay in Abuja. Highest, they will not, for the 4 years, they will not spend up to a month in their constituency. Maybe. Yes, many of them. All right, Prof, maybe just, it's already time. And so I would just love to say that that was interesting, actually. And it was nothing less than a fantastic ride. And we'll go to have another break again. When we come back, Prof, I bet you, God's willing, you'll be telling us your own take as regards the swearing in of the leftover lawmakers in Plateau State. Our viewer and our listener, please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short time out.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
Thank you so much for staying tuned with us on Unity 93.3 FM, Unity TV. This is the last segment for this wonderful program coming your way today, being the third day in the month of June, the year 2024. In the studio, it has been Professor Poveno H. Bameyi and Barrister Paul Zaruma. So I would appreciate if you begin to get ready to join us on our Facebook page and then throw your comments as well at Unity Radio FM/TV shows. And the live studio line is 07032353315, and for text messages alone is 0808-478-9999. The man from Kadede who requested to have me speak with you after the show, you can